Oops.
Oh my god.
Oh
Whatever.
my
Whatever.
fucking
We're
god.
going with it. Hey, it's Andrew, Benny, and Ryan.
Oh my god, why the fuck is there a keg in front of me? I'm not an alcoholic, damn it.
And we're here to do our first reactions of the artifact weapons that just got released. They released every artifact weapon on the Blizzard website. There'll be a link in the description if you guys want to check it out if you haven't seen it. And it's first day of BlizzCon 2015. And did you just punch me in the goddamn? Okay, anyway. Let's talk about these artifact weapons.
Alright.
Yeah, yes,
Yes.
no.
Well,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's start at the top. Well, we're going off
Want to start at the bottom or the top?
well, we're going off the Battle.net artifacts weapons page so people can follow along. I say we should just start
And
top
I'll
left.
put the picture. I'll put the pictures. Will be up there.
Yeah,
during
link will be
the-
in the description if you wanna.
Link will be in the description, and pictures will be on the screen as we get to them. So
Top left,
Uh,
Death Knight.
yeah, we can just start with Death Knight if that's cool. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm there.
Blood, Maw of the
Blood.
Damned.
Do you want to talk about the backstory at all?
Oh,
I mean, it's up to you guys.
I mean, I guess we can.
We can read the little paragraphs, the little things. So, I mean, first things first. I think this one looks pretty damn good.
I mean,
I don't know what
Yes.
the base is though.
it does. I don't know. I like it. I'd never want it. I don't
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't play Death Knights.
True.
That doesn't help.
Yeah.
But I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just talking about visual, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, very standard Death Knight in my opinion. Nothing really.
Very good Death Knight.
To me, it looks like the one that's static down at the bottom there is probably more of a base version because you don't have like the red. You don't have it like I don't know. It just looks it looks less exciting to me, which makes me think base version. Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around because I know in the Paladin ones, the actual animated one, he has the normal Ashbringer, and then unless you get like a shattered Ashbringer and have to reforge it or something.
Oh,
Even get me started.
that's fair. We'll get there. That's fair.
We'll
you
get
might be
there.
right. We'll get there. But I thought in the past they maybe showed that one as the PvP Death Knight one. That's why in the animated picture. That's why
Okay.
I'm thinking that. But who knows? We don't know. I
So, yeah,
like the
ultimately,
one in
no
the
idea.
animated picture better, I would say, than the bony one.
Yeah, I agree with
Um,
that. The bony one reminds me a bit of Shadowmourne a little bit, which I think is a little
Well,
too
maybe
similar. But
Yeah,
heck,
that might be what they're going for. But yeah, I can see that. Okay. Backstory. I mean, nothing I've really heard of before. An ancient legion axe forged from a metal that drains its victim's vital energies. The soul of its original creator is trapped within and cursed with unending hunger. For more than 1,000 years, an old and cunning Moarg, I think, I don't know what that word is, Moarg,
Mhm.
has used the axe to butcher uprisings and consume the life forces of the Legion's foes. Over its long and infamous history, the weapon has made its demonic bearer extraordinarily powerful. I don't think there's really much there. So,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, they just made it up for this.
yeah, so maybe we won't go over them. They're kind of whatever.
There's some I think we might be able to go over in more detail.
I
like
think
the next one.
Like Frost, yeah.
well, rant part one here. I'll preface my problem with this whole thing. A lot of these weapons look like Blizzard pulled them out of their asses. Like, I'm sure there's somebody's gonna yell at me for saying this, but I'm sure there's reasons why these are the weapons somewhere within lore. But to me,
Well,
as a casual player, it literally seems like they pulled them out of their asses. And
No,
I'm
yeah.
not a fan.
I'd agree with that. I think for the most part, most of them are just kind of made up out of nowhere, and they kind of just are making up the backstory to make it artifacty, which is completely fine. I mean, some of them, obviously, some of them have been in the game, and maybe some are in the books somewhere that we just haven't read.
Exactly, which is why I'm sure there's some people that are getting off on the fact that Maw the Damned is the blood weapon for Death Knights.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, as a casual player, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ryan, what the fuck are you wearing?
Oh, dude, it's my Sargari disguise.
Nice.
I'm blending in.
I couldn't even tell. You look like a Sargari initiate to me.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I am.
That's the point.
Anywho.
Anyway, so Frostbringer or Icebringer and Frost Reaper, Blades of the Fallen Prince. Obviously, the Frostmourn's Shattered Remains, and they're doing dual wield frost, and they're making people into dual wielding people,
which is fine. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think more of a problem was later with the one-handed fury, and people seem to like Titan's Grip, but we'll get there when we get there. In terms of the look, they're pretty cool. I like them.
They're simple.
They are simple, which I think is fine.
But less is more. I mean, personally, my favorite one-handed sword skin is still the Time Warp Slicer, something like that. The legendary out of the Eye when you fight Kael'thas, and that's a simple design, and less is more.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, on my Paladin, the transmog sword I'm using is literally the one you buy from the rep in the Shattered Sun.
Right, so
offensives, which is like literally the most simple sword ever, and that's the one I like. So I get that, and I think with something like that, there's a lot more room. I mean, who knows what they can come up with customizations? They're just showing us these ones, but for now, I think they look great as is.
Yeah, I think they're pretty cool. I mean, I really like that they kept a lot of the design cues in Frostmourne in these new weapons. Like if you enlarge the picture of that like upgraded version, you can, and there's a lot of the same aesthetics that Frostmourne had.
Yeah, that skull,
but with a new twist. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
You can see the skull with the horns, and it still has the runes down the I guess the shaft of the blade.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think that's really cool.
That's pretty. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I feel like we've already been over the whole shards of Frostmourne thing before in some degree with Shadowmourne, but I mean.
And there goes the whole like theory that the shards were taken by what's her name? The undead queen.
Oh,
I can't remember her name off that. Yeah, Sylvanas. That they were taken to make arrowheads. Obviously, that wasn't actually what happened. Apparently,
right? Yeah, so, which I thought that was always kind of a lame theory anyway. But
yeah.
So it's all right. I dig it. It's the only Death Knight weapon so far I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes the most sense of the Death Knight ones, but then onto the Unholy one, I think that looks brutal. I think it looks really cool. The Apocalypse. I mean, we love our giant, massive, like, two-handed swords. And
okay, but here's what the hell is that thing in the static image? Like,
I kind of like it. It's like a giant two-handed like, scimitar. No. It's kind of like a giant scimitar.
It is.
I don't know, man. It's something I wouldn't mind my dead body wielding. Like,
no, I think I like it. I like the giant two-handed base image, I guess, more. But I think it's still pretty cool looking. Again, I don't think I'd use it, mainly because I don't play a Death Knight, and I don't think... Even if I did play Death Knight, I probably wouldn't play Unholy. So, but I think it looks really cool. I mean, it's a lot better than maybe some of the ones we were looking at coming up.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we take a quick moment to recognize the description that Blizzard gave up top here, the second paragraph? It says, a Death Knight is only as good as the weapon they wield. You've become one of the greatest heroes of Azeroth, one deserving of a weapon not only with
I know what you're getting at.
But with a name.
I know what you're getting at, and they say it for every class, you know what I mean?
Not only with power. What is power?
Oh, jeez, I just noticed that. I didn't know it said power. Look at that. That's funny. If we're going back down, I like you're calling up Blizzard's typos. But if we go back down to the Unholy, the description for Apocalypse, there's actually something that's like I actually kind of like this interesting backstory that I've never heard of. Like it was used to be wielded by the Dark Riders, servants of Medivh. And that, like, I don't know about you guys, but that reminds me a lot of, like, the ring wraiths from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I see
And
that
just
connection.
kind of sounding.
They hid his blade in the catacombs under his home, the Tower of Karazhan. It kind of like ties in how those catacombs were always kind of there, but
Oh, so that's what they're.
like,
I didn't
Yeah, I
realize
just
fully
caught
through.
that.
That's really cool.
you
So
know, what
you know
were
how
those catacombs?
you're gonna have to do the story to get your artifact weapon. So that's actually a pretty cool one if you're gonna be heading into the catacombs of Karazhan
Right, that
for that one.
props to Blizzard for that.
Yeah, and obviously the Frost one, you're going to be going back to ICC, and I still don't know what the hell about this Blood Ball. But anyway, let's move on to Demon Hunter.
All right, let's
Let's
do
move
it.
on to Demon Hunter.
Demon Hunter. Okay, this one we got 2. So this is like I guess the newest one. I mean, obviously
So-
the newest one.
We have Havoc, Twin
Havoc
Blades
is
the
the-
Deceiver,
DPS one.
and that is pretty much Warglaives round 2.
Warglaives round. I mean, they're all going to be like that, especially since Demon Hunters can only use glaives.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I like them. I like the whole Demon Hunter idea. I'm always skeptical of people jumping on the Demon Hunter idea since it's like, I mean, they're Demon Hunters.
I mean, it was going to come eventually.
Right. It's like Blizzard's saving grace. Let's go back
Yeah.
to Illidan. Let's bring Demon Hunters. Let's go back
Pretty
to
much.
Totally get that.
Let's do revival of TBC in hopes that we save this game. I like it. I'll play one. I'm sure I'll want this.
Yeah.
I'll want to play with the glaives. I also am. I don't know. It's just it seems almost like I don't know. It's like a novelty in a way. Like
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I definitely think it looks really cool, though. I mean,
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
obviously, like the only glaives that have ever been in the game are the war glaives, and those are some of the coolest looking weapons. And like these ones, like in the animated model, have like the like just like demonic purple kind of
Like surging in the weapon.
surging in the weapons, and it's just like kind of brutal blades. And then the one that's going to be up on screen has like this like weird glow in the giant horns.
Yeah, can we acknowledge the fact that you have a blade and then this like skull almost like where you're holding it? That's what it reminds me of. That is cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like kind of with the Frostmourne, how it's got the skull with the horns in it, except these ones are even more demonish,
Right.
which perfectly fits the class, and I think that they look great still.
And then
Um,
I think
as
sorry, go on.
yeah, I was gonna say just for the color combination. Obviously, you can do different models and then different colors. I think maybe just because I haven't seen it yet, but the one with image with the green and the giant or bigger horns, I don't know how that would look in different colors. I'm assuming just the green is gonna change, maybe not the gold, and I feel like maybe just because I'm not seeing it in front of me, but I think like the green is almost like the one that's the only one gonna work.
Yeah, I can understand that. I'm sure Blizzard will do a good job designing it and not letting you go free reign on like pink and blue, but
Oh, well, yeah.
Aw.
I think they'll figure it out. But
Yeah,
in comparison, I think Vengeance gets kind of screwed over. I mean, you're looking at Warglaives for the DPS spec, and then these similar, like, kind of fist weapony axes that we've seen before in models
Yeah.
that are in game now. I don't know. It seems disappointing for this new Warglaive wielding class to have half of the ones as meh.
yeah. I kind of felt the same way when I looked at it. I do like the static image a lot better. I think it looks more
Yeah.
Warglaive-y,
Yep.
but I still kind of feel like, yeah, I'm much more drawn to the more warglavy of the Havoc artifact weapon than this one. But I get what they're going for because this is the tank class, and that's more. You have more guard, and you're kind of getting your arms up, and rather than being all aggressive and stuff like that, and you're getting your arms up and defending, and you have like your hand guard over like the static image, and it's like a mini little shield almost.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wonder how it's gonna fit in with. They might look better with the transformed when you're transformed. They have like the transformation for the demon hunters
Right.
for tanking, so they might fit in better with that. Who knows?
I guess we'll find out once Blizzard releases a little more information, and we'll have to go from there. In general, I get it. I mean, like you said before, it's more of like a defensive thing, but at the same time, if I'm going to play a Demon Hunter, I kind of want my Warglaives.
You want to go
so...
Havoc, right? You're going towards Havoc. Yeah, I totally get that. I do like the color combination better on the Vengeance weapon in the static image than probably either of the Havoc ones, but obviously that's something that could easily be put anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah. Nope, phone going off.
In any case,
Benny, why the hell did you just text me?
oh. Where are we going, Druid or Hunter?
Druid, let's go Druid.
Guardians of Nature. Oh, there it is. Balance. Scythe of Elune.
Okay.
Never been a fan of scythes.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a little weird for, I think balanced druids. Ryan, this is kind of your area of expertise. You're the druid.
Yeah, honestly though, just as a longtime Druid player since vanilla, I'm just fucking happy to have something other than the same shit I've had for about a decade now. So in a way, it's just cool that it's different.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they kind of seem to stick with the same old balanced Druid mantra of you slap the word Elune on it, and now it's for Druids.
Yeah.
There you go. It's balanced, man. It's a Scythe of Elune. We put Elune on it. There you go.
I get that.
I like the half moon. It gives that, like, to me, is like a bouncy feel as a non-druid player. Like
right,
the
totally.
blue adds up. Is the static image supposed to be like the eclipse side of it?
Maybe.
Maybe, but why is it like green?
Fell.
Green. Yeah, it looks warlocky.
It's like green and purple. Yeah, it looks very warlocky. I could totally see my like warlock characters carrying that thing around. But my balanced druid, unless there's
Not
like a
so
new
much.
like plague-ish aspect somehow in there, it doesn't seem to fit.
And we don't know how it's gonna look with it's actually in Moonkin form.
Right, when
Or
Moonkin form is
in-
getting an update. It won't
Yeah.
fit astral form for shit.
Yeah.
But
The blue moon crescent will.
yes, it will. Yep.
For totally will. And I
Definitely.
really like the blue and color combination of like the astral
I like
or
that one.
of that one a lot better than this little voidish one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But again, along the same kind of, I guess, lines, Scythe of Elune. That, like, really? You have Ashbringer. Or even, like, looking ahead here, you have the Claws of Ursoc. You have Ashamain. But then it's just Scythe of Elune. I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems kind of disappointing.
Do you know more of the lore? I know Elune's like the big balance person for druids, but like is Ashmain someone like that?
I believe so. Let's see here. The massive Grey Panther Ashamain, one of the first wild gods, was one to answer many of the call, the demigod Cenarius, and defend Azeroth during the War of the Ancients. It looks like that would add up to cat form.
Yeah.
I have to say, I like it.
The cat form looks awesome.
I like it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even though I don't like playing feral, like I'm a druid, I'm totally resto. But the transformations they have for both feral and guardian are so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess, one and the same here. You have the two daggers and then the two fist weapons. I guess I'm not that familiar with the whole lore. Ursoc rings a bell. Ashamain, I've read it before, but from a purely aesthetic point of view, I like it.
I don't think they've ever
dig
mentioned
it.
Ashamain before that I can recall anyway. To me, that's brand new.
Yeah, totally.
I think they just made it up for that, honestly.
It could be. Ursoc sounds familiar to me though.
Ursoc has been around for like pretty much forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always been like
term
the bear thing.
Yeah, in terms of both the Feral and the Guardian, I actually like as well as the forms, the shapeshifts look awesome. Like the base weapons look really cool too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. And then heading down to Resto, which is unfortunately what I play on my Druid, I kind of find the giant antler staff like kind of obnoxious.
Once again, as playing a longtime druid, antler staff is like a staple in a way, or ridiculous stupid staves, and the trend hasn't changed.
Yeah. I
It's
feel like I'd
disappointing.
almost transmog it
Yeah, I'll
if
definitely
I
be
was going to look
logging
at that. But maybe there's some other cooler combinations. Like I don't, again, for like the static image, I don't get like the purple kind of warlocky looking dead tree for a Resto Druid.
Right.
But you never know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it either. It doesn't
Yeah.
really fit they even have the words like Guardian of Nature, right?
Yeah.
Right at the top of the page, and they talk about that for
And
a quick
Mother Tree.
second. The Mother Tree, and then all of a sudden, I could understand like World Tree or something along those lines, but the Mother Tree, I don't. What's Gehanir?
I have no idea.
I've never heard of it.
It's a good question, but I guess they can build the backstory all they want, which is fine. And
Yeah.
I get that they want to give people options, to fill around how you can make it look around any transmog you want to make your dude look. But
Sure.
yeah, the way I have on my Resto Druid, I'm not going to be using this Fell staff. I mean, obviously I'm going to be using the staff, but definitely not that. Whatchamacallit, option. But anyway, on to Hunter. Going down. God, when I saw this Beastmaster one, I was like, thank God I do not play a Hunter.
If they
It's
re-roll
so
hunters
bad.
and develop them to be enjoyable, I could definitely see Rokinos, my hunter, making a comeback. I
But you're not going to
always
play
like to play them.
Beastmaster.
For the sole reason of that weapon, I won't play Beastmaster.
Yeah, exactly.
If a BC type Beastmaster came back, I'd love to play Beastmaster. However, I'm not going to use that thing.
That gun is awful.
I hate guns to begin with, and that gun
same
just makes
here.
me dislike guns more.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
bad.
It's terrible.
Like, you'd think if anything, Marksman makes more sense to be the one with the gun.
See, when you first showed me this link and I was looking at it earlier today, I was questioning who gets the gun, who gets the bow when I looked at it, and I'm like, honestly though, when you think of like a hunter, even nowadays in like the real world, if you're gonna go hunting, a lot of I don't know, Beastmaster hunting in that sense makes more of a. I put gun with that, where I put
Sure.
bow with the marksman, at least in the fantasy aspect of this game.
Yeah.
Obviously, if this was like more of a first-person shooter, a marksman would have
Yeah,
some
this
sort of
is
a rifle
Overwatch.
with a scope.
Yeah.
But I like I like bows. I like the idea of this sharpshooter with a bow.
Yeah, which the bow looks awesome.
The one in the static, anyhow.
I mean, yeah, the one in the other one's a little bland, but
Yeah, it's a little boring in my opinion.
if that's the base, like I think Ryan, what you were saying, I think that's a good starting point.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, the marksman one definitely, at least in the picture, looks
And I love that it's tied to Alaria Windrunner as well.
totally. Yeah,
which is
totally.
so badass. That's a really, it's one of the few of these like artifact weapons that really feels like
An artifact.
an artifact exactly.
Yeah. Do you not look at that static image and just think back to the legendary bow as well?
Dude, it
I
looks so
do.
much like Thoradol.
It looks so much like it, which is great because Thordal was an awesome looking bow. Oh, I just
totally.
noticed if you're looking at it, like the little, like I guess after where you hold it, going down each end of the bow, like they're like eagles.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That looks so much cool. That looks
Nice.
really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I'm a
really
fan.
sweet.
I was just looking at the description for Titan Strike 2, and it talks about was designed by Keeper Mimron, a Titanic Watcher, and I don't know. I guess I don't know
Really?
the lore enough, but it threw me off. I'm like, really, Mimron?
We're
Well, I
suddenly
mean,
calling back to Ulduar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to Old War. Yeah, actually, I didn't read that earlier. I just noticed it was like Titan Strike and it was like techno magical, and you'd think like the whoever the Gnome King is. You know what I mean? Rather than
Right, but at the
or
same
gnome or
time,
goblin person. But
I'm not a lore guy. It
yeah,
says in here, you talk about who devised it first, Comrade Keeper Thorim. Why? What's the connection between a Beastmaster Hunter and these Titans?
yeah.
I
Who
don't know.
knows?
It's weird. It's just not like a direct
I,
connection to me.
I guess we'll have to read the story if we're ever gonna do a Hunter Beastmaster, which I probably wouldn't anyway. But
No.
yeah. But down to survival. Hello, welcome to Spear World, and it's awesome. Like I still have yet to be sold on survival hunters being with spears. I think it's a cool idea. Hopefully they make it work out. But the spears look great.
I agree. The static image looks like a druid staff to me. Herald druid staff.
Yeah,
However,
kinda.
I like the image of the dwarf holding that spear. It's a nice spear. It reminds me of when my hunter had a stat stick
And a
on
weapon,
top
and a
of
gun,
the
or
bow
the
gun
bow.
combo.
Yeah.
I liked it.
That spear looks
I
like it's taken straight out of Mist of Pandaria.
it
Yeah,
Got the
does.
I get
same
that
color
too.
schemes and everything.
Yeah, which I think it fits. It fits great though.
Yeah, totally. No, I think it's a great. I
And
think
even
it's pretty
like
cool that they're
the
moving to this like spear-based. It's something unique for survival, which it's kind of seemed to have lacked for so long.
all the hunter, there's been like really no differences kind
True,
of in the
true.
way they've been playing. So yeah. Imagine like that color scheme on the static image too, and I think this like wolf spear thing would look really great with those colors. Better than I think this green, but
I guess
I
we'll
mean,
find out. I
that's just
think a
my
lot of this
opinion.
comes down to changing up how it looks and then hopefully getting the best out of it.
Yeah, and there's gonna be what like at least 3 or 4 models for everything, every artifact to it. I think
For sure.
so. But God, that gun is just bad. I'm just gonna move on from that
Yeah, it's awful.
to Mage, and I think this is where I love the Mage ones. I really do.
I find it interesting that fire was designated as the sword wielder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where they decided that.
It doesn't seem like any would be a sword wielder, but
At the same time, I've always liked sword and like offhand as like a book or something.
yeah, which they show in other places. Obviously, they're probably gonna get one as well. I mean, maybe not a book, but some kind of like offhand they're gonna get, right? You'd think.
Yeah. Going to the arcane
Yeah,
weapon,
let's start with the arcane
I
one.
like she's wielding.
Mhm.
I'm confused by the model in the static image. Like, why are we
In
on
the
the
static
Isle of
image.
Thunder? Is what I'm getting from that.
You know what? It kind of makes sense to me. Like the way I look at it, like the arcane is kind of like holding these floating things together. I guess yeah, the lightning's a little like interesting, but what else would lightning be? Like lightning wouldn't be in a frost.
Yeah,
or
so
a
give it to
fiery one.
elemental shamans.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but
if we're gonna try and be logical here, the purple strikes me as arcane. I think it really just ties it together for me.
yeah, but the floating objects on the head of the staff is totally arcane to me. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, the lightning's a little interesting, but I guess it's just personal preference there. The fire one, I like the static image way
Same.
more than I like the one in the.
I'm not a
animated
fan of
one.
I don't know. It looks like a talon or something,
Yeah,
and they've done it before. I think it was Firelands. They had a couple weapons that had a similar feel to them. Like it was Alistrasor's talon that was a mage sword, or I think Balrog dropped one. All the loot was kind of fucked up in that place because it was all shared. A lot of it was anyhow. So like I guess I get it. It's kind of a similar idea. I'm not a fan. I do like the static one.
yeah.
Maybe give it like a little glow or like a fiery something.
Well, yeah. It looks like you could potentially with the orbs in the static one, maybe have a thing where when you're casting, it kind of glows more fiery and more red.
I mean,
I
it'd
think
be
that'd be
cool. I
really
don't know what they're
cool.
going to be doing, but There's potential.
There's definitely potential. And again, it's more of that simplistic style, I think,
For sure.
with the static image.
That being said, Frost.
Well, with the animated one, you can see that there is a glowing kind of fire effect around
Right,
the orb.
and I like that, and I think that might be what the static one's missing. And since it's static, we're not going to get that, unfortunately, until we kind of see some more live images.
Yeah.
If it comes down to it, and if I ever play a mage, which I'm really tempted to try.
Yeah, I'm tempted to try my mage in Legion.
You know, especially with that free 100. You know, I was just talking to you, Andrew, maybe half an hour ago, like, oh,
yeah,
I have not really been playing. What would I use it on?
Yeah.
And as I'm thinking about it, maybe a mage. That'd be kind of really cool.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
At the same time, I guess I don't know enough about them. I do like both of the Frost ideas that we have here.
Yeah,
I really do.
Does that one in the? It's not even an animated image, but the one that the gnome is wielding, it totally looks like Jaina's staff from Heroes of the Storm.
I like it. I don't know.
Like it a lot.
I don't know the idea behind it, but I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's almost like the base of a staff and the entire upper half's missing, and it's just been filled in with ice. You know what I mean?
It's cool. And that totally is like a Frost feel.
Yeah.
And even on the static image, don't know why they chose green as an accent color, but I like that like Frost shard at the top.
It works. It looks
really
like it's even
cool.
A dagger, that little green part of it. Does that look like a sheath dagger?
Oh yeah, it does.
Kind of, yeah.
I think it is actually, because if you look towards the bottom of it, you can see like the tip of it down there as well.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, it totally is. That's totally a dagger.
And that's only on that model of it as well. You don't see it on the one.
I don't know how familiar you guys are with the lore. I don't know. I just scrolled down to the comments. Somebody is overly excited about Fellow Malorn as the fire weapon. Is that something significant? I saw that.
That was the that was like Kael'thas's weapon. It was all the Sunstriders. It's his family's weapon.
Oh yeah.
And he used it to fight against the Lich King before losing horribly, but he used it.
I don't know if you're reading off of the description there, but that's like literally what it says.
So yeah, I didn't even look at the description because I've kind of disregarded them after reading the past couple, and they're
Well, there you go.
That's cool.
Won the battle by members of the Sunstrider family as they've proved their valor in the War of the Ancients during Troll Wars and against the Death Knight. Yeah, against the Death Knight Arthas Menethil. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Totally
I like that.
what it is.
Yeah, that one's actually got some interesting lore behind it, so that's pretty cool.
That totally
so does the Frost one as well, actually.
Yeah, the Frost one, they're coming back to the Guardians of Tirisfal, which we mentioned earlier with the Apocalypse and the Death Knight one. They were also Guardians of Tirisfal. So, Arcane one, also Guardians of Tirisfal. So all of those ones are all looking like they've got some pretty good lore behind it. So that's great for mages so far. I think are the winners of all the ones we've been looking at.
For sure.
In terms of lore, anyway, yeah.
Well, in terms of also, I'm just happy with all the mage ones as well. Like this other ones, there's always been like one that's kind of been like whatever.
I don't know. I personally don't like the Arcane, in my opinion, but
that's fair.
I do like Fire and Frost.
Yeah. Okay,
monks.
Monkey monks.
Monk. I totally forgot this class existed.
Yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people like to transmog the starting weapon because it was very monk-like.
And there it is.
And there it is. Brewmasters will no longer have to transmog it.
Yep.
That is boring, but also fitting. I mean, I like it.
It's got the keg. It's got everything you want. It makes you think Brewmaster, so it totally works.
No, totally.
Right. And for some reason, let's see here, it's tied back. Titanic Watcher Keeper Freya. I'm not too familiar. I've not played a monk. You're going to the Jade Serpent, all that jazz. And the Hosen, which we saw obviously in Mist of Pandaria.
Mm-hmm.
So, sure, it makes sense.
I'm sure it makes sense. Yeah, it's probably down to the Mistweaver. There's not much more I can say about that one. So down to the Mistweaver one.
Meh.
Yeah.
It looks to me like they took the staff models from Mists of Pandaria, gave them to Mistweaver, and just called it a legendary.
Yeah.
Not a legendary, but an artifact.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I like on
the model. The static image I think is awesome.
I think they're both pretty cool, but they're not. I don't know. They don't really stand out to me.
I guess here's my problem with the static image. You have, I think, what is that? The Jade Serpent Yulon in there,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that was
that was the
spellcaster.
yeah.
Serpent in
Wasn't the
Pandaria.
Right.
The
wasn't
crane was
the
the
crane was
healing
the
one.
healer? Yeah, yeah.
So
But
I guess I'm not quite sure what that connection
the
is.
crane one is in the animated image though.
Is it?
Yeah, because the crane was the bell person, if I remember right, from the legendary
So that
quote.
makes sense, but why do you
I
like?
think they may be giving you every option. Maybe there'll be a bull one. Maybe there'll be the tiger one.
Oh, yeah, they might be doing that.
Possible.
That
I
might be
mean,
all the models for that. Yeah, and
obviously,
that might work for all the ones too.
right?
Like I
And
can't. If you go back and look at the Brewmaster one, it has like a bear paw. Well, I guess just panda paw in like the keg. And who knows if that's like a dragon for the green one? It could be like a crane for a different one. You know.
it's possible.
Yeah.
That
Who
being
knows?
said, I mean, obviously you have what strikes me as like a little bit of a claw here on the Windwalker. All of a sudden, we've got references to Alakir and Tolvir and
Oh,
Yermot,
that's interesting.
which I'm not a lore guy again. Interesting though. I'm not quite sure what the connection is. I wouldn't
do.
have thought of it as that. I would have never, I guess, imagined that connection.
Yeah.
No.
When I first saw the claw, I think the claw looks so much better than whatever the fuck is in like the animated image.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The claw I think is really cool. It definitely feels more ninja monk than who knows what the hell that is. Other than that, I don't have much to say. What I want to go back is I thought on monks' staffs and stuff like that and spears, when you put them on, they were upside down on your back.
They are, if I'm not mistaken, yeah.
So what I'm wondering is how that's gonna look, like the Mistweaver staff, how that's gonna look on the monks. If like the bell's gonna be hanging upside down on the floor, you know what I mean?
I mean, Blizzard's never been that active with their images, so I doubt that's
Right.
actually going to be upside down. I mean, I don't know. I like the whole upside. It's something different. It makes it maybe feel more like a battle staff versus just
Right.
like, oh, I'm wielding the staff because it gives me magical powers.
Mhm.
So I like that about it. But I don't know. I'm not also a fan of the monks, so I really
Yeah.
care less, to be honest.
Okay, paladins.
All right.
Benny.
I like the holy weapon. There's a decent chance I'd play a holy paladin, and I like it. I would never use that purple thing. I don't know why it's there, but
Yeah.
I like the silver hand.
I get the idea of it. I feel like it looks like a totem.
It
On the
does.
end of
It
a
looks
stick.
like a
I
it looks
feel
like
like
a
it looks like a
dwarf totem.
I think that doesn't scream silver hand to me. Like
No.
when I just read the silver hand, you know what I thought of was that old healing mace from Vanilla, that is like the it's like the white fire in the middle of it, and it's just like a small like orb.
Yeah, the priest. Well, not priest mace, but it's totally like a priest model.
Yeah, that's what I think when I think silver hand. Then I saw this and it looks like a giant totem, so it kind of threw me off. But I'm not the paladin here, so you know, if you really like that, sure.
Like I said, I like the golden model.
I like the
excuse
book.
me. I do like the book combo. If that's like a thing, the combo
think it's
there,
gonna
I'd
be
be
a
okay
thing.
with that.
Yeah.
I always liked wearing a shield as well as a paladin healer. It was kind of cool. I get the book though. I mean, you're in a way. I mean, you're like a plate wearing priest almost.
Yeah.
You're a warrior of the light of holy power. So having a book as a healer could make sense at the same time. I've never been a fan of offhands on my paladin. I've always
I think it'll
hated.
work because it's kind of like a throwback to when paladins, had tomes.
Yes, and as long as they make it worthwhile, I'll be okay with it. I've always hated having to give up a shield for an offhand because the offhand was an upgrade. It was the
I know what you
stupidest
mean.
thing. Maybe even giving paladins the option to make all their offhands, quote unquote, transmog to shields.
Transmog to shields? Yeah, that could
Just
be a thing.
because obviously priests can't do that, but let a paladin do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't know. Obviously
Yeah,
aesthetics are only
it would work with paladins and shamans.
right, and obviously
Yeah,
aesthetics are only part of the game. But if my gear sucks and I look cool, I
you're
feel
still
good doing
happy.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, exactly,
Right.
totally. And there is in all these paladin weapons good Titan lore, which is I think is really cool.
Yeah, I'm talking about Loken here,
And
Tyr.
Tyr, yep, which was a Titan. He's one of the
Hmm.
Titans. Yeah, yeah, and all that. Down to Prot.
I dig it. I dig the static image.
Yeah,
I for the shield, anyways. The
I
sword I
just wanted
like
to
on
say
both.
that shield. I would play a prop paladin just for that fucking shield.
dude, that
That thing
fucking
is
shield
so cool.
looks so cool. Yeah, that works so well. So, like, I don't know as much more you can say. That's awesome.
Yeah, they just did a
Yeah.
good job with it.
The funny thing is, when I read it at first, like up at the top, how it says in the little under the white Warriors of Light, how they have the little bullet points. It says prop paladins wield the shield Truth Guard. Like that's it. I'm like, nothing about a weapon at all. Like,
Yeah, don't need it.
okay, whatever. But
I mean, I'm sure it has to be a combination. Which it
yeah,
looks like
I mean,
that's what it's
totally.
gonna be.
Yeah.
Which I totally like. I like playing a prop paladin. I think I'll look forward to it. It's totally a different take on tanking already, and I think the artifact weapons are just gonna add to it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Um,
And then
Then we get to
yeah.
Benny's favorite,
Benny's favorite Ashbringer.
the Ashbringer.
I don't know enough about all these other crap like weapons, but to me the Ashbringer jumps out as more widely known, maybe more not necessarily lore based more important, but I mean it's the Ashbringer. It's existed for how long? Its name is known. We've had the corrupted Ashbringer.
It's
I remember
probably
being
the most
told
recognizable weapon, if not maybe not the most, but one of the most recognizable weapons in World of Warcraft lore.
Yeah,
for
so like
sure.
right up there with Doomhammer, right?
With Doomhammer, with
Frostmourne.
Frostmourne, with
Yep.
um,
Okay.
Sulphur's Hand of Ragnaros. All those old legendary weapons.
Hmm.
Right. And so, I mean, having said that, Tyrion Forging, the lore's there. It's perfect. Obviously, I think Blizzard would have run into more problems if they didn't give Ret Paladins Ashbringer.
Yeah.
There's been a lot more salt there than there is for having Ashbringer. As a whole, I don't like the artifact weapon system. I don't like the fact that we're going to have these quote
A
unquote
million
powerful weapons.
Ashbringers. Yeah.
And my biggest problem with it is where do we go from here? Where do we go with the next expansion? Do we keep these weapons? Because we can't why do you give up Ashbringer? It's Ashbringer.
Yeah. Who knows?
I mean,
I don't want to look that far.
right,
at this
we don't
point.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's great. It looks great. From the previous previews that we've seen, there's some really cool options.
And the shattered Ashbringer model looks awesome too.
I think
They have
it's
like a fire
yeah.
Ashbringer. Yeah. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And, there's not much more you can say after that. It's the fucking Ashbringer.
I just noticed some of the things and just looking at comments a little bit. The whole Trisfall and Tyr connection, and that was never realized in my mind, but totally makes sense because I know with going back to the Holy Weapon, the Silver Hand, real quick, it says his hammer was lost with him somewhere beneath the land now named in his honor Trisfall
Yeah.
or Tirisfall.
Totally.
Sorry.
Yeah. I read that earlier too.
Yeah, I think the lore with Paladin's all there. I think it's really cool. I think it's definitely going to play out well.
Is Paladin not the most lore heavy class in the game? Probably.
I mean, if you consider Arthas, you consider Tyrion Forging, you consider all these people, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be.
The one thing I do like is the connection with Ashbringer and how it says in here, pass through several hands, serving both light and shadow.
Yep.
So there
True.
is like the dark side, the light side. Obviously, we had the corrupted Ashbringer.
Mograine, whatever his last name
Yeah,
is.
there's so much lore.
Yeah, so on to Priest.
Priest.
All right,
Let's see
priest.
here.
Another one of Benny's classes, in a way.
In a way, I'm not impressed.
I do like the base model for the Discipline one in the animated image.
I like the discipline. I like the book on the static image. It's cool. It's like
Yep.
you are a priest.
And
Yeah.
the
What
way
else
that-
do you want?
The way that it sounds like they're changing it too is it says discipline priests stand between the light and shadow, wield both, because they are changing it to kind of like a hybrid DPS healer class. So even with like the book when like the purple kind of shadowy, it like totally makes sense. Obviously I don't think anything will top those old priest staff from the Benedict and whatever the other one was from Vanilla.
Yeah,
yeah,
for
of
sure.
course.
For those, but I really like the model for all the priest weapons, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say there. I like them. I can see how it's kind of weird how it went from like this especially in the disc one, how this giant like spike ball on the end of a staff kind of to like the book,
that's
which is kind of a big
it's an
model
interesting
leap.
change.
Yeah. You guys have anything else want to add to that one?
Not particularly.
No, not
Why
really.
is the
Okay, we can move on.
Why
To
did they
Holy
put
Blade
a
now.
image of a frost mage next to the holy priest?
I know, right? I totally thought that.
I like the
that
static
too.
image. I mean, I see like some of like the Burning Legion, Draenei lore, maybe even Naru. Yep, Naru's in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Totally gives me
Yeah,
that feel.
It totally gives off the
I don't-
Naru feel. It's like perfect for a holy priest.
and it is called Beacon of the
Exactly.
Naru, so it works great. Yeah, I don't get the blue. I
Well,
don't get the
weren't
blue.
some of the Naru slightly bluish in tint?
Mhm.
I remember purple. I can't recall any blue off the top of my head. I'm sure maybe, but
I can't remember exactly.
yeah, I definitely remember the whitish and the purple. So, I mean, maybe blue.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh,
Shadow got the shaft,
Yeah.
hands down.
you don't like it?
Why not a staff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. I thought that at first,
I
but
don't-
I really like that model of it.
I'm not a fan
I
of the
think
model.
it's okay. I like the corrupted one a bit better because it fits in with the whole claw of an old god thing. But other than that,
Oh, really?
yeah, if you read the lore there,
I actually don't like the. I mean, I was just never a fan of all the corruption stuff from back in Mists, like all those crazy weapons and stuff from like SOO and stuff like that. So I like the shape of it, but I like the model in the animated image a lot
I don't
better.
know. To me, that one's a bit generic. I mean, I guess they're both pretty generic now that I think about it. So I don't know. It is the weakest of the three, though.
Yeah, for sure. But I'd take that since we're coming up on Rogue. I'd take that weapon for a Rogue rather than the ones that Rogues have, to be honest.
Well, then let's take a look at
Which-
Rogue then.
Yep. Speaking of which, Rogue is the next one on going down. Why do I main a Rogue? The thing is, the assassination one I really like.
Assassination one. Oh, do you?
Yeah. Well, compared to the other ones.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the fact that the wait, outlaw.
Is out.
Outlaws combat.
They're
really?
changing it.
Yeah,
Alright, well, I like
it. Dude, have you not seen like in all of like Hearthstone how rogues are all like pirates?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Ah,
no, I get that. I
swashbucklers,
get that.
Blah blah blah. Which I don't like.
I do kind of like the outlaw static one that it's kind of like a rapier. I think that's pretty cool. You don't see many of those in WoW,
Okay.
but I mean, I don't really play rogue, so
I hate that. I hate that.
I think it would have been really.
Rapier doesn't make me think rogue. You know what I mean?
kind of makes me think of one.
Like I get that it makes me think pirate. but
Well,
not
yeah,
rogue.
they're trying to make it into more of a piratey kind of, right? I mean, right here, the very first thing it mentions
Yeah.
is, Admiral
Booty
Eliza
Bay.
Goreblade, mentions Booty Bay, mentions the
Yeah.
Dreadblades, pirates and sailors. I mean, like,
Yeah,
it's clearly
I
meant to
get
be
that.
that.
I'm not
I
a
know,
fan of
I
it
know.
though.
It's just I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of whole. Like after looking at all these, it's like I guess I'm playing assassination because if you go down to the sub one, it's goddamn awful. Like, are you kidding me? That's what you come up with for the sub rogue?
Oh,
Like,
Andrew, why'd you leave
there's like
us?
greens. What?
You left
Okay,
Yep.
log out. Oh, okay, I'll log back in. My bad. Sorry, been AFK for that long.
What were the legendary daggers that they gave rogues in Firelands? I don't remember their name.
Fangs of the Father.
Yeah. What's the lore there? Because part of me thinks, did Blizzard like jump the gun on those? Should those have been the artifacts?
I don't know what the lore was. I never really paid attention.
They were. No, I never paid attention. I didn't play a rogue.
I'm like looking it up right now.
Because those
so
are
I have
really
some
cool.
idea.
I
It
liked
was-
those. I liked their models. I thought they made sense.
Oh, yeah, they were
I
awesome.
liked the whole
It was
combination.
Kata.
That was
It was
cat.
cool.
Yeah, it was a Kata thing, and you had to do this crazy quest line to get it. Yeah, and if you scroll down to the comments there is questions about that too. But then you look at what they came up for the sub rogue there, and it totally looks like a goddamn green from Warlords. Like, I've seen that model drop from
Wait,
LFR,
which one?
You know what I mean? The sub rogue
yeah,
model.
yeah.
Like, I've seen that model drop in LFR, and I hated it there.
I kind of like the static one. I mean, it's better.
Really?
It's definitely an improvement. I still don't care
yeah.
for it very much.
The only one I like is the assassination one. And even then, it's like, it's something that would come from Hellfire Citadel, not Hellfire Citadel, Blackrock Foundry. Because I mean, I guess that's what it is though, because there were daggers that Garona had.
Right.
And I just hope that they give you some kind of different models, especially with the stupid outlaw one. I guess if the base sword's the one in the animated picture, that makes it better. But the rapier, I think, looks so dumb. But maybe it's because I'm coming from where I'm thinking of rogues right now. How, like, combat says hack and slash. Kind of, like, all over the place, cutting through multiple people at once, and a rapier doesn't do that. Like, rapier is like a stabbing weapon, not a slicing
For sure,
weapon.
no, I agree with that. And it's,
Oh, definitely.
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's disappointing, I guess.
I'm very disappointed in the rogues.
I am completely impartial.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess I'm the shaman.
Oh, Shaman.
I'm just...
I
Shaman.
suppose,
Talk about
yeah, here's
Doomhammer.
another Doomhammer debacle. It's similar to Ashbringer. I feel like it's... They couldn't
the
have
question
left.
is what
They
happens
couldn't
to
have left it
Thrall.
out, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I feel like it's much better than some of the other options, like what rogues get, for instance, or looking at it, warriors, like what they get. I feel like Doomhammer is just like, all right, well, you play a shaman, you win. You don't play a shaman, you get the shaft.
Yeah. But starting with, like, Elemental at the top, Fist of Raden, that's the dude from Throne of Thunder,
I
right?
think so, and I like it. My problem is you're
I
a
like
caster. You sheath
Yeah.
your weapon.
That you
And
sheath
you
your
have a fist weapon.
and fist weapons
Like,
don't
yep,
show
what?
up. Yep. Totally. They could change
That would also be weird.
You know, it would look very strange. I mean, maybe you cast with the fist weapon and it, like, comes out of the fist weapon. Could be a thing. Like, if it's coming from the end of the fist weapon, you're channeling your elements through that.
Right.
I doubt they're gonna make that leap. But you never know.
And the other question would
I do
is
like
there is that shield a combination?
I do like the shield. It's kind of a weird giant horn coming out of it. But I like the shield, how it's got that ball of energy coming to it. and
Yeah,
stuff
it's pretty
like
cool.
that.
I dig it.
And it looks very shaman. Obviously Doomhammer's
Right.
Doomhammer. Like, what else can you say? You want to go on about the resto
Scepter of Ashara
stuff, Benny?
seems familiar. I remember something about that in the past. It's kind of weird. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's better than
The weird
nothing,
thing to
I
me-
guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have thought they would have gotten a staff.
I'm happy they didn't. I've worn a
Oh,
staff
you
for too
okay?
long on my shaman.
That's fair. The interesting thing to me is that it's the scepter of Ashara, and Ashara was a night elf, and night elves can't be shamans.
Yeah, maybe it
That is
has.
an
Does
interesting
Ashara
point.
have to do with anything like with the water or
Oh, totally. She's
She
like the queen
was
of the Naga.
she's a Naga. She's a queen of the
right? And
Naga.
so since restoration shamans are all about like these
The
restorative,
water elements.
restorative, whatever the fuck I even pronounce it, like
Yeah, energies.
tides
Mhm.
Yeah.
and waves, like riptide, healing wave. Like it's all about this water. Chain heal can even be made to look watery.
Water
So yeah,
streamish.
you're totally
Yeah.
using water to heal people. That's the idea. So it makes
Hmm.
sense.
Yeah, it says right here in the lore, the
Yeah.
scepter swirls with waters from the well of eternity prior to its corruption. So there you
There you
go.
go.
So
There
that's
you
why I
go.
kind of
So
like
it's
it, I guess, because it makes sense.
okay. I
You
like it
use
more now.
water,
Yeah.
and that's what the restoration shaman's all about.
Yeah, I like it more now that like you've kind of gone into that.
And then
So,
you get
okay,
into the
yeah,
static
shamans,
version, and I think that's a ball of water in the center with lightning or something.
lightning.
Like what?
I mean, water, lightning, electricity. That's shaman to
It,
me.
it is
So
shaman. I just don't get how zapping the people you're healing is going to help them very much. But hey, no
hey,
biggie.
you never know. Yeah. I think that I
Here's
like
the
them.
thing:
The only question is how this fist weapon's gonna work to me.
if you guys remember or want a link, I'll put one in
We can put something in
Skype.
the description.
Skype
Yeah,
for you
go ahead
guys.
and throw something in.
The Scepter of Ashara already exists. It's an item level
Does it?
378, level 85 weapon.
Oh wow, look at that.
So, what's that gonna be?
They're probably just gonna take it out of the game.
Right, but
Maybe.
what's this Scepter of Ashara that the other one isn't, and vice versa? Like, I mean, I get it's a name, but still, it throws me
Maybe
off.
you're gonna go back and transform this one.
God, I hope not, because that'd be lame.
Hey, it sounds like you're gonna be going to the Well of Eternity if you're gonna do your rest of Shaman. On to Warlocks.
Warlock.
And Warlocks get their scythe. And it looks awesome.
Yeah, it makes sense more so than the Druid Scythe, in my opinion.
Totally.
Yeah. That blood scythe for affliction looks incredible. And like they have the giant skull on the top of the scythe where the blade and the staff meet.
I've always liked Affliction. It's always been my favorite Warlock spec. I may just have to roll with it
Yeah.
for a while.
Like, seriously, looking at all these Warlocks, like that level 100 boost, I might use on a Warlock because I love all these Warlock
Yeah, I
weapons.
freaking love that Demonology Skull, just to skip ahead there a little bit.
I know, no, let's totally skip. I just love the Affliction one. It says something about Karzan, so we're gonna be going to Karzan with that, and then this floating skull for Demonology. Like that's
Yeah, that
awesome.
is like that is so unique. That is so cool.
Yeah, which is why I love it.
So what's the idea? I guess that's what I'm thrown off of. There's a skull floating in front of your face. What's the idea?
You're channeling demonic energy from this powerful demon's skull,
Basically.
kind of like how the skull of Sargeras, like the skull
So-
of Sargeras,
Gul'dan.
or
Can
skull of
I be
Gul'dan was
Illidan
used
and
by
just
Illidan.
wield that skull and have it be like fucking Wilson?
You are not prepared.
Can I have my own form of Wilson as a demonology warlock then?
Sure seems like
It'd be
it.
cool if I mean it'd be kind of cool if that's the idea they were doing.
I don't know who this
To hold.
skull of it's a Minari. I don't know who this Minari person is.
To look at destruction, I've always been a fan of destruction locks. I really would have liked to play one in at the end of Mists. I mean, I was starting to level one, but there was kind of like a gear check, which sucked for locks.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
the Scepter of Sargeras. I'm not a fan of the color schemes if they're gonna make a tie to Sargeras, but totally that like fire destruction thing is cool.
I like the demon wings. In the
Yeah, me
static
too.
image, too. And like the eye of Sauron.
Yeah,
You
basically.
know?
Yeah, it's like a purple eye of
Yeah.
Kilrog, essentially, right?
I love all
Yeah.
those.
I really dig the
ones.
Warlock
Like, it makes me
weapons.
want to play
Yeah,
a
same.
Warlock. That's why I'm saying like like the Warlock ones were winning for me. Like prior to starting to record this, like the Warlock ones are totally
Yeah,
awesome.
I agree.
Okay, Warriors.
All right, Warrior.
Don't know anything about any of these.
Nope, seriously
Fury,
don't.
2 one-handers, I'm all
they look
for.
they look very warrior.
Looks like some more Titanic Watcher keeper stuff.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
it makes sense. And then with the shield down for prot warriors, it's like the scale of Deathwing.
Oh yeah,
If you go and look at that,
Notharian. There you go.
in terms of all like the aesthetics for all of them, I think they look awesome. Obviously, I don't play warrior, but they're very warrior-esque.
I like it. I mean, maybe my warrior will make a comeback if they make Fury to be, I don't know, less rage dependent.
I will say about the Fury Warrior static image, that little static image seems a
it
little
looks
wacky.
too
but
short.
when you see that,
It looks too
yeah,
stubby.
yeah,
Yeah, it
it looks
does.
too stubby. But when you see it with the animated image, it looks great, and it's a better color scheme with the
Yeah,
fighter,
definitely.
to me. And then they got the brutal cleaver, and then I will say the warrior shield looks so much better in the static image. I feel like.
Yeah. The base one looks a little plain, but then that
Yeah.
updated one
It
looks
looks
really
too
cool.
leather. Yeah. I think overall, now that we've through them all, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel shafted as a rogue.
I guess in regards to like some concluding thoughts, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I'm not a huge fan of the artifact system in general as of right now. I think a lot of people running around with the same weapon is going to be weird unless they find a way to combat that. I don't want to be wearing the same thing as.
It seems to me that the amount of customization that they're saying they're giving should combat that a little, and you can. I think they said you can still transmog it into other
Well,
stuff.
so they're giving you a path of skills and abilities, right? But
Yeah.
why isn't that going to turn into a talent system where any raider needs to pick the best ones? Like,
It probably
so
will.
that's what I'm kind of bothered. What's the point? It's kind of like where Blizzard said before, we want talents to be this fun thing. We want them to be
Thank you.
we
for
want
the
them to
brand.
be a little bit optional.
Optional.
But
Yeah.
they're not, because if you want to raid as maybe like a Ret Paladin or as a Holy Paladin, you have to take Beacon of Faith. As cool as, I don't know, Saved by the Light sounds or whatever else there is, I can't take it because it's not the best skill.
I think. Okay, you're in Gnome now. I think. To me, it seems like the way you unlock those talents is obviously through progressing the artifact weapon, and that if they're going to allow you to progress the artifact weapon to such lengths, it seems like eventually you'll be able to get every talent or every little skill in that in the trees. So I think there'll be a starting out point, but I think eventually you'll have everything.
I mean, I think so too.
Which turns more of into like it's a new spell, like how they did like the random new spell like modifications in WoD. That the artifact weapons is going to be like those. Instead of giving you new spells, they're changing what you already have.
Right, and I think one thing that might be really cool is if they did it similar to how the class-specific and spec-specific trinkets are. Maybe wielding the Ashbringer has a chance of doing X, and it'll help. Like maybe it summons an image of Arthas or Tyrion to fight with you for a little bit.
Yeah, probably Tyrion.
Well, it'd be like a pre-Death Knight Arthas, but
Arthas never had.
Or not.
Ashbringer.
Well, but in general, it's like this like Paladin companion.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or it, as a Frost Mage, maybe I don't know some.
You get a second water elemental or something.
Well,
like that.
something. I don't know what it might be.
Yeah.
I'm not a game developer, and that's for good reasons. I'm not creative enough to do that, so I'm not going to speculate what it should be and what it shouldn't be. But maybe something like that, because I've never had the chance to wield this legendary weapon or something of this nature, an artifact weapon as they were current in game. But I imagine there has to be something cool about it, like the daggers for rogues had that set bonus. And
Yeah, and I'm assuming there'll probably be some stuff in the trees that have stuff like that.
but again,
You know what I mean?
the thing that I question is how do you keep it interesting enough so that not every mage in your game has this, you know?
Has the exact same
Because
thing,
like Shadowmourne had a really cool one. It was you drain soul fragments and then at some point you release them and unleash them. And it's a really cool idea in my opinion. But imagine having a 25-man raid with 5 Death Knights and they're all doing it. It loses its novelty.
Yeah, I can get that. Well, I mean, I guess we'll just see what happens. I totally get, and that you're absolutely right. We should be still somewhat skeptical after WoD how it wasn't that great. So I guess we'll just see moving forward. You know. But yeah, thanks everyone for listening. Let us know in the comments what you think of anything, or if you want us to cover anything else.
I
let
think
us know.
we're looking forward to the rest
And-
of BlizzCon, as I'm sure all of you are. And you know, with everything that comes up, we'll make some videos covering it, getting just some thoughts out there. I know Legion is promising, I think, to a lot of us, but there's not much
Yep.
information yet.
And we're still like half a year away.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Summer of
Whoa.
2016.
So close.
But yeah, until next time. Later.